This is Water Valley Blue Devil Classic Football. This game features the Water Valley Blue Devils and the Itawamba AHS Indians. The game was played on August 30th, 2002 at Water Valley. The final score was Water Valley 21, Itawamba AHS 10. And now here's Doug Carter and Lane Hart.
Are you ready for Blue Devil football? I hope so, because here it comes as the Blue Devils take the field. Team numbering this year at between 55 and 60, somewhere along that line. I'm not sure exact number, but that's going to be the most we've had out for football in the fall at Water Valley High School in a long time.
Yeah, and another good thing that the coaches were really pleased with, Doug, is they had very good attendance in the voluntary workouts this summer. For the most part, from what I understand, I think most everybody's in pretty good physical condition because on these hot, humid nights like tonight, conditioning is going to come into play. Of course, it'll help. I'm sure we'll, for these first few games, have the heat timeout.
Only 6 seniors on the squad this year, a group of 26 freshmen. The rest of them are juniors and sophomores. So things look good for the future for the Blue Devils. As number 7, Clay Dozier, the quarterback, will kick it off for the Indians as the Blue Devils get it first on offense. Back deep to receive will be number 13, Casey Rogers, at about the 8, and he brings it forward. And he was able to bring it up over the 20 to about the 26-yard line, where the Blue Devil offense will start 1st and 10.
I think it'll be real key, Doug, for the Blue Devils to come out and try to get 2 or 3 first downs, and then once again try to get advantage of the field position game. That's always seems to be a key issue, especially in the early games, this being the first game of the year. And it looks like Casey will start at quarterback as originally planned.
One minor switch I see. Stephen Hill starting at the right tackle position, number 46. First play from scrimmage, they hand it off. I believe that was Pierre Allen. Gains maybe a yard. Not even quite a yard. Call it a half a yard. Call it 2nd down and a long 9.
And it's going to take a few plays to get settled in. You got the first game jitters, butterflies, and just need to get out there and get knocked around a little bit and settle in.
From looking at the size ratio here, we've definitely got them outmanned weight-wise, I think, across the front. There comes Pierre Allen through a hole in the line up to about just over the 30-yard line, which will bring up a 3rd down now and about 5. Gain of about 4 on the play. Williamson at fullback, Pierre Allen at the tailback position. Rogers on the pitch out to Allen. Allen takes it up to the 35-yard line.
It's going to be about a yard short, it looks like, Doug.
Just about a yard shy. Down marker is just shy of the 36, and the ball is resting on the 35.
Big play here early. Looks like at least they're going to line up and attempt to go for it.
What you may see here is Casey try to draw him off sides with a hard count. 4th and less than a yard to go. That was what you definitely had going, and the Indians hold firm. Don't jump on the account, and there's the timeout, and we'll take it and be right back. Just underway. Devils with their first offensive position. They have it 4th and short at the 35-yard line. They have less than a yard to go for 4th down, but we'll see now what the Blue Devils have in store as they took a timeout after trying to draw the Indians offside. The coaching staff is huddled, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and go for it on a 4th and short situation here. 2 receivers out to the right in Edwards and Rocket. Rogers gives straight ahead to Pierre Allen, and he has the needed yardage for the 1st down up over the 40 to the 41.
That's a good job by the offensive line. Itawamba then kind of They showed a 4-man front, but then I think they walked the linebackers up, Doug, and it wound up looking at like a 6-man front. Good job by the offensive line to pick that up. And just the initial surge should at least get you a yard, especially as big as the Blue Devil offensive line is.
1st and 10 now from the 41-yard line for the Blue Devils. Rogers up the middle on the delayed quarterback draw. Takes it up to about the 44-yard line. Gain of about 3. 2nd and 7.
You want to try to get yourself in 3rd and short situations, and 3-yard gain on a 1st down play is not bad at all. And just, you know, if you gain 3 more yards, you're on the next play. You're still looking at 3rd and 4. So that's what you like. You like the 3rd and short situation.
2nd and 7 now. Give it to Allen up the middle. Pierre takes it up to about the 48-yard line. Bring up about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 maybe. They mark it at the 49, which will make it about 3rd and 3.
Last time in this situation, Doug, you saw Water Valley come with the option. You could possibly see the option to the wide side of the field. Although I know Coach Drury kind of likes to get Casey with the ball on the short side of the field.
Rogers on the option. Don't know if he got it that time. He got across the 50, but I don't know that he got far enough.
Well, Itawamba's defense did a good job of stringing that out. It looks like it first looked like Casey was going to have a seam, but Itawamba's defense did a good job of stringing it out. And then once again, here we are in 4th and short.
4th down and about a yard to go. And you figure if you're going to go at your own 35, you definitely go at midfield. 7:39 left to go in the 1st quarter. First offensive series for the Blue Devils. 4th and 1 at midfield. This time the receivers come to the left. Straight ahead to Pierre Allen, and I think he's just got it. Going to be close depending on the mark of the ball. He got to the 48 of the Indians.
If they mark it with this near side official.
Ooh, that mark is going to put us short.
1st down, just barely.
The 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils from the just inside the 48-yard line of the Indians.
Once again, Doug, I mean, the initial push of that offensive line is getting Water Valley 3 yards.
Straight ahead to Corey Williams. No, I bought the fake too. That was Rogers on the keeper trying to get around the end, and the defense was able to string him out and tackle him after about a 2-yard gain.
Well, it looks definitely for sure here in the early going that Itawamba is really keying on Casey, and they just really feel that if they're going to have a chance to win this football game, or they're going to have to shut down Casey Rogers as far as running the football goes.
Brandon Hawkins and Charlie Edwards in at the wide receiver slots. Straight ahead to Corey Williamson. And if Corey hadn't tripped on that particular play as he came through the line, he could have got big yardage out of that as it was. He gets close to 1st down yardage down at inside the 41.
I think he was a little bit surprised, Doug, at the room that he had or how big of the hole was. Waiting on to get hit, and there was nobody there to hit him.
3rd and about 3 from the 41.
This is going to be the heat timeout, I believe.
Official timeout called, and we'll take a break, and we'll be right back after this. 5:58 left to go in the 1st quarter. 0-0 your score. Blue Devils with the football on their Indian 41-yard line. 3rd down and 3.
I think eventually if Water Valley keeps getting this good of a push off the line, they're going to have to start walking some people up to that line of scrimmage. We got Charlie Edwards at quarterback now.
Casey Rogers in the tailback position, and the Indians are extremely lucky that Casey tripped or lost his footing or whatever as he came through that hole again. Or it was 6 points on the board. First down for the Blue Devils as Rogers takes it down inside the 35 to the 34. First and 10 Blue Devils. And it looks like they're going to make the switch here for a series or two as Edwards takes over at quarterback with Casey running the tailback position. Double tight end set, solo rocket split to the left.
Well, they stunted right there, Doug, and the offensive line didn't pick the stunt up. But to Itawamba's defense credit, they did a real good job of disguising that. He waited to the last minute before he came, and he didn't give the blitz away. And good job there by Itawamba's defense. They stunted right there, and they were able to get Casey in the backfield for a loss.
Excellent play there by number 31, John David Bean, on the tackle of Rogers in the quarterback in the sack for about a 6-yard loss. Second down to 16 now from back at the 37-yard line. Same formation. Edwards quickly hands it, and once again they get number 51 this time gets penetration. Matthew Rock, and now another big loss. Somebody on the right side didn't pick somebody up because that's where the penetration came from.
Well, you got to figure, Doug, Water Valley's gone for it on fourth down twice on this particular drive, so you really don't necessarily have to get it all back on this play. If you're going to go for it with fourth down, you just try to get about half of it back and hope you can pick it up.
Third down here and almost 20. Rogers back to pass, looking for Rocket. He hangs it up. Rocket adjusts. Oh, and an excellent defensive play as he just slapped it away there. Number 14 for the Indians. That's Sean Knowles.
Well, the ball was underthrown a little bit, Doug. Casey didn't really get a good throw on it. It kind of fluttered on him as it left his hand, and it forced Solomon to have to make an adjustment. He did a real good job of trying. It just underthrown, and it allowed that defensive back to come in there and make a play.
Brings up fourth down now and almost 20. Fourth down, well, they're calling 4th and 15 here. And it looks like Coach Drury going to be forced to burn a timeout here as he didn't have the right personnel that he wanted.
Yeah, they got the wrong personnel, and it's costing them a timeout.
We'll take a break and be right back. Didn't have the proper personnel on the field that he wanted, so he was forced to burn a timeout here. Of course, that's the one thing that just really gets on the coaching staff's nerve is having to burn one of your precious timeouts, especially here early in the first quarter, for a mental mistake like not having the proper personnel on the field.
That's kind of the negative of when you start swapping players at different positions, especially on the same drives. It can kind of create a little confusion.
Edwards at the tailback position this time. Rogers heaves one up. That one was partially deflected, I do believe, intended for number 6, Reggie Morgan. And the Indians will take over on downs at their own 39.5-yard line.
I kind of like the play call, Doug. You try to throw it deep, and even if it's intercepted, and hopefully you can get the defender tackled and pin them deep. But like you said, that ball was partially blocked at the line, and that play never really had a chance.
Jake Falls in the backfield along with Russell Esters. Clay Dozier, your quarterback for the Indians. They give it to Esters, number 3. Comes through the line, and he gets over the 40 to the 42.
I believe it was a fumble, Doug.
Oh, there's a fumble on the play. And if that holds true, big Josh Sims comes up with it. All 290 of him.
I thought I saw the ball pop loose. I don't know who really made the hit, but, man, it was a great hit. He put a helmet on that ball, and I thought I saw it come loose. And here's the first opportunity now for the Blue Devils right here to capitalize on these mistakes, especially in the first game of the season. When you're able to take advantage of a mistake, that's huge, and it gets the momentum back on your side.
First and 10 now for the Blue Devils as the offense retakes the field with the ball at the 38-yard line of the Indians. Williamson and Allen in the backfield. Morgan and Rocket at the receivers. First man through is Williamson. Williamson takes it down to the 35-yard line for a gain of about 3.
play was just a little bit slow in developing, Doug. The hole was there. You just wonder if the Devil offense is still just a little bit out of sync. They're about a half a step off. If that play could have gotten off a little bit quicker, could have possibly been a big play.
Devils break the huddle on a 2nd down and 7 now. Edwards left, Rocket right. First man through is, somehow or another Casey managed to hang on to the ball and turn something into nothing, but I think they're going to mark him down back here at the line of scrimmage, possibly.
I don't think.
No,
they're going to give.
I saw an official throw something on the ground. I was afraid he was marking the spot, but he picks it back up and they give him credit to the 30.
We saw the Devil offense kind of have this problem earlier in the year last year. Casey wanted to pull that ball. He read the option right, and he was wanting to pull the ball, and it looked like Corey didn't want to let him pull it. And sometimes you hope disaster doesn't happen.
3rd and short. They give it to Allen. Allen is held up in the backfield and barely makes it back to the line of scrimmage at the 30, which will bring up another 4th and short. 4th and about 3 from the 30.
Well, it's obvious that Itawamba's defense is committed to stopping the run. It's like we said in the opening, if they start bringing those people up to that line of scrimmage, you're going to have to do something to loosen them up, and the only way to do that is to throw the football.
All right, and another thing here where you're down in their end of the field deeply, an option that you do not have this year, of course, with Ward Walker's graduation is the field goal.
I think even with any field goal kicker, it would be a pretty lengthy field goal at that. So you definitely would want to get a little bit closer. I think there was a equipment problem. It looks like it got fixed.
4th and 3 from the 30. They give it to Allen, and Allen is held up. Gets just past the 30 down to maybe the 29. And once again, the Indian defense holds, and the Blue Devil defense comes back out.
Well, that's a little disappointing. Itawamba gave you an opportunity to really do some damage here in the early going, and the Devil offense just wasn't able to capitalize.
First and 10 for the Indians from their own 29. They pitch it to Esters. Esters is held up at the 30 by Charlie Edwards and finished off there by number 6, Reggie Morgan. The Blue Devil defense are very quick to the ball. 2nd and about 9 now.
You just got to keep it in the back of your mind, to keep watching for play action pass. At some point in time, I believe this is the case for both offenses. At some point in time, I think they're going to have to throw the football.
2nd and 9. Split receivers 2. We got an offside, but they didn't call it. Dozier has the ball, and Charlie Edwards wraps him up at about first down yardage, up at about the 40. They're going to give him forward progress all the way to the 43. 1st and 10 Indians. That looked like somewhat of a broken play, maybe.
Hey, this kind of got lost in the crowd, and by the same token, the defense lost where he was also.
First and 10 Indians from the 43-yard line, make it 42. Dozier hands it to Esters. Esters trying to bounce it outside. Jeremy Rocket holds him up, and a host of Blue Devils finish him off.
And that should be the last play of the first quarter.
Loss on the play back to just inside the 40 as the clock winds down here, and that's going to be the situation. That's the end of the first period of play. 0-0 your score. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. Ready to go here with the second quarter of play. 0-0 your score. Indians 2nd and about 12 from their own 39-yard line. Dozier pointing out a possible blitzer. Dozier rolls, throws, completed to number 1 out there. That's quite possibly his brother, Brian Dozier. Tackled by Solo Rocket over there at about the 47-yard line.
They just kind of flooded that zone quick out there, and then they had a guy going deep, so they just kind of made that cornerback have to make a decision. Solomon did a pretty good job of coming up and making the hit right when he caught the ball. And here's a big play here, big test for the Blue Devil defense now, 3rd and long.
3rd and 5. Dozier first man through, and he has nowhere to go as the defensive tackles for the Blue Devils close in on him and shut him down. 4th down now and about 5 from the 47-yard line of the Indians.
I was watching, looks like we got Clay Dozier, number 7 for Itawamba. He's lining up in punt formation. I was watching him in the pregame warm-up. Pretty good punter. He was punting from the end zone and putting them out about the 45-yard line.
Rogers and Edwards back to receive. Dozier gets off a nice high spiral. And it's a muff. And a low, I don't know. The Indians may have recovered that, but no, let's see. Casey Rogers comes up off the bottom of the pile with the ball in his hand, so I guess the Blue Devils recover. Whew, that was a dodging a bullet.
Well, I think there was just a little bit of apprehension of who exactly was going to catch the ball. And in that situation, those two deep return men have got to communicate just like an outfielder does in baseball. One of them's got to call it.
1st and 10 for the Blue Devils now from their own 21-yard line. 10:27 to go here in the first half of play. 0-0. Neither team really being able to mount any serious scoring threat. The Blue Devils were able to get down to the Indian 30-yard line on their last offensive possession, and the Indians have just had no success at all as they were able to get to midfield before being thrown back by the Blue Devil defense. Edwards is running quarterback, and Rogers fumbles the ball. But I believe the
Itawamba recovered.
Itawamba recovers. 1st and 10 going the other way, and that's that kind of mistake you really don't want to make. And that could be just a situation of Casey just not being used to the table being turned from the handing off to the taking.
Yeah, and it looked like Charlie got the ball to him. It just looked like it squirted out. I really don't know what happened, but all of a sudden both teams not playing real sharp.
1st and 10 now from about the 17. Dozier to the first man through, and he makes it to about the 15, and then he is thrown back by the defense. 2nd down and about 8 for the Indians.
Second and 8 from the 15 for the Indians.
You'll see a lot of substitutions on the defensive front for Water Valley because a good portion of those defensive tackles or those defensive linemen play on the offensive line, so you got to try to get them as much rest as possible.
2nd and 9. Dozier rolls to his left. Oh, my goodness! Solomon Rocket almost took his head off.
It looked like Itawamba recovered the ball.
Lane, if it's possible, he didn't get a face mask. I think he somehow or another managed to grab his ear flap.
That, or he grabbed that collar, that shoulder pad.
Because he all
that
of
was
a sudden
close. He's lucky because a lot of times you see
a snap like that, and the referee will call it.
Or if it's not a face mask, you'll see going to the head. I mean that is a penalty also. You cannot intentionally go to the head of anybody, especially the quarterback.
3rd down now and about 21 to go from back at the 29-yard line. Dozier looking to run the option and slips down at about the 27-yard line where he's stopped there by Casey Rogers.
That's a big break for Water Valley, Doug, because they came to the short side of the field with the option series, and the pitch man was wide open. Water Valley had nobody on the pitch man, so I'm sure that Itawamba is going to probably notice that, and they may come back to that.
4th down now, 4th down and 20 from the 27. As it looks like they're going to attempt a field goal here. Dozier also the field goal kicker. It's going to be a 44-yard field goal attempt by Clay Dozier. Out of the hold of number 22, Jake Falls. It's up.
Got
and
it.
It's good. A 44-yard field goal by Clay Dozier gets the Indians on the scoreboard. It's 3-zip Itawamba. We'll take a break and be back with the kickoff right after this. $7:58 to go here in the first half of play. 3-0 your score as the Itawamba Indians get on the board as they take advantage of a fumble recovery deep in the Blue Devils' own end and cash it in for 3 points on the leg of a 44-yard Clay Dozier field goal. Dozier setting now to kick it off. Back deep to receive for the Blue Devils will be Casey Rogers, Charlie Edwards, and number 6, Reggie Morgan.
Number 13, Casey Rogers. Number 10, Charlie Edwards. Number 6, Reggie Morgan, back deep to receive for the Blue Devils.
Well, we just need to get a solid return. If you could get a return back up here to say about the 40 or even midfield, that'd be a great opportunity for Water Valley.
Dozier gets some air under it. Rogers will take it at his own 6. Has a wall. Oh! And Casey was hammered at the 24-yard line there by number 29 for the Indians. That was Wes Harden. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils now from their own 24-yard line.
Well, it's important now for Water Valley to keep their composure. Good job by the defense for only just giving up a field goal. You'll take a 3-point field goal in that situation when you turn the ball over that deep in your own territory and come away with just 3 points being scored on you. That's a great job. They just need to put some first downs together and try to mount a drive here.
1st and 10 Blue Devils. Rogers twist away somehow and able to get up to just over the 25 to almost the 26-yard line before the defense finally managed to knock him down.
Well, it's clearly evident, Doug, that Itawamba is keying on Casey Rogers. They're not going to let Casey Rogers beat them in this football game. What that means is somebody else on that offense is going to have to step up.
$7:17 to go in the first half. Double tight end set, 1 receiver out to the left, and that's Solo Rocket. Williamson and Allen in the backfield. Rogers back. Heaves one up, intended for Rocket. Rocket. There's a flag. Now, is it going to be offensive or defensive pass interference?
Going to be close. I don't really know. It looked like Solomon may have tried to come over him a little bit. It looked like it could have been some contact by the DB. It could go either way.
We'll see what the call is. Pass interference. Offensive pass interference is called. And Solomon tried to go over his back.
Well, Casey's kind of trying to get that ball to the outside. Try to get it to the outside and let Solomon make the adjustment to the outside. Anytime he's going to have that defender between him and the ball, it's going to be a tough catch to make.
And that's a stiff penalty. Takes the ball all the way back to about the, oh goodness, all the way to the 12-yard line.
They're calling that a loss of down. That could be a new rule change this year. But
third and about 21. Rogers on the option keeper. He breaks it to the outside. Watch out, folks. And Casey able to bring it all the way up to about the 31, where it'll be 4th and about 3. Well, now, Ball resting on the 31-yard line. First down marker is at the 34. 4th and 3.
4th and 3 from the 34 of the Blue Devils.
Just a lot of confusion right here, Doug. And
Did they go ahead and call? This may be the official heat timeout here. Well, no.
No, they lined up as Water Valley was going to go for it, and then at the last minute they called for the punt team. I'm beginning to wonder if the coaches knew on that pass interference penalty that they charged them with the loss of down.
Charlie Edwards back in punt formation. Charlie gets off a nice high booming kick. Fair caught back at about the 38 to 39 yard line there by number 11, Nick Brown. 1st and 10 Itawamba from their own 39 with 6:30 left to go in the first half, leading 3-0. First and 10 now, Itawamba. I formation in the backfield with Esters at the tailback slot. Split receivers out to the left. One comes in motion to the right. Give it to the first man through, and that was number 29, Wes Harden. Jackson on the tackle. Gain of about 3. Call it 2nd down and 7.
And the play brings up 2nd down, 2nd and 7 from the 43. Esters on the carry.
Esters on the carry up to about the 48-yard line. Going to bring up a 3rd and short situation. Now they call the official timeout.
Brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 2.
Well, no, they're signaling something else.
Official timeout for Water.
We'll go ahead and take a break and be right back. 5:37 to go here in the first half of play. 3-0 Itawamba. Itawamba with the ball and a 3rd and 2 from their own 48-yard line. Receivers left and right. I formation in the backfield. Dozier on a surge. Gonna have enough for the first down as he calls the quarterback sneak straight ahead. Just inside the 50-yard line of the Blue Devils to about the 49.
Well, at this point, you're just hoping that your defense can certainly you hope you get a turnover somehow, some way. But right now, you're just trying to keep the score where it is, down to 5:14 to go in the first half, and if you could go in at halftime just down 3-0, not a bad situation to be in.
1st and 10 for the Indians from the Blue Devil 49. Dozier pitches back to Esters, and Esters is met at the line by big Matt Jackson, and he throws him back. Second and 10 for the Indians.
2nd and 10 from the 49 for the Indians.
Second and 9 now. They give him half a yard credit. Dozier under pressure. Heaves it up and he overthrows his receiver as he was open. That was intended for number 26 there, Matt Holley. And he just, Dozier just did get that ball away as Solo Rocket was flying his way. About as soon as he released the ball, he got hammered.
Yeah, it's just overthrown just a little bit. The receiver had a step on the Blue Devils defensive back.
Third down now, 3rd and 9 for the Indians from the Blue Devil 49-yard line. Dozier back, and he has nowhere to go. He completes the pass, but 3 Devils swarmed on him there. Brandon Hawkins, Albert Horton, and Reggie Morgan were there waiting for him after a gain of about 3. 4th down now and about 7 from the 46-yard line, and Dozier will drop back in punt formation.
The 7-play Dozier back in punt formation for the Indians. Number 13, Casey Rogers, and number 10, Tony Edwards back in the field for the Blue Devils.
And the ball gets loose again as Casey tried to pick it up off the turf. He probably should have just let the thing bounce. And the ball is at the 20 where the Blue Devils take over 1st and 10.
Well, you still got time, Doug, to get a score on the board. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. That's still plenty of time. Itawamba's done a good job, though, of stuffing that line of scrimmage, and the Casey and Charlie and some of those guys, Pierre, just hadn't been able to get out on the corner and really break loose and get a big run.
We've seen some long, deep patterns, but one thing we haven't seen so far tonight in the passing game is the slant across the middle. Pierre Allen on the carry over the left side.
Yeah, Itawamba's, they're just walking them guys up to the line of scrimmage now. They're just crowding that line of scrimmage, and like I said, the only way you're going to get those guys off is you've got to complete some passes.
2nd and 9 as Pierre gets about 1.
Second down, 2nd and 9 on the 20 for the Blue Devils.
I mean, even if you don't score here, you need to at least get 2 or 3 first downs here and try to get some field position back, because you'd hate to have to punt it out deep in your own end.
Rogers back under pressure, rolls out, and overthrows Rocket up at about the 46-yard line. Third and 9 now for the Blue Devils from their own 20, or 21. 2:47 to go in the first half. 3-zip your score in favor of Itawamba. Itawamba's getting on the board via the 44-yard field goal by Clay Dozier. Quick penetration into the backfield, and Rogers is tackled for a loss.
Tell you, so far the offensive line is not done a good job of picking up the stunts, and that there again they blitzed both linebackers on that play, and that play never had a chance.
There's a 4th down, 4th and 10 to the 19.
Charlie Edwards back in punt formation. He'll kick from about his own 10. Good driving kick's going to hit the ground at midfield and bounce and go out of bounds at about the 46-yard line of the Blue Devils, where the Indians will take over with 1 minute and 55 seconds left to go in the first half.
Well, now, Doug, you're in a position you just want your defense to hold. Minute 55 to go in the first half. You just want to get into the locker room with a 3-0 lead, and just hopefully you can figure out something on offense. There's really been no continuity on the offensive side of the ball as far as the Blue Devils are concerned.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Receivers split to the right. Dozier on the option, going down the line. And he's held up, gains maybe a yard. as one Devil had him by the shirt tail and another closed in for the tackle.
A good job there by the Devil defense. They came to the wide side of the field with the option series and had the quarterback covered, and I think they pretty much had the pitchback covered also.
2nd down and 9 now for the Indians. From the 47. Dozier back to pass. Looking for the crossing. Oh, it was intercepted by Casey Rogers. And they're going to call him down at the 38-yard line as Casey picked that one up off of his shoe tops for the interception. First and 10, Blue Devils going the other way from their own 39.
Blue Devils take over 1st and 10 from the 39.
Pitch it out to Pierre Allen, and there's nowhere to go. Penetration. They had a 6-man front, and like you say, they walked up the other ones, and they're just pouring through the line like a sieve. 2nd down now, and about 16 from the 34.
Walking play brings up 2nd and 15 from the 34.
Rogers back to pass. Rocket with the ball. Oh, he breaks it loose. Look out. Solo Rocket down the sideline. Touchdown, Blue Devils. And boy, did the Devils need that.
Oh, they needed that big time. That's a great job by Solomon. The defensive back was late getting over here, and Solomon just did what you're taught in practice: catch it, turn, and run. And he just outran. Even the safety had the angle on him, and he just flat out outran him. He did a good job too. He felt that defensive back behind him when he had done cleared everybody, and he just kind of tried to put his hand back there so that defensive back couldn't grab a hold of anything.
Number 1, Drake Dickey on for the extra point attempt out of the hole to Casey Rogers.
Well, you said it, Doug. The Blue Devils needed that big time. They just been kind of stagnant on offense, and they got the crowd kind of back into it a little bit. This crowd's been kind of quiet, and that kind of got them on their feet.
High snap, but Dickey delivers. And the extra point attempt is good, and the Blue Devils are on the board. 7-3. We'll be back right after this. A long touchdown strike from Casey Rogers to Solo Rocket. And the Devils take the lead 7-3.
Don't need a breakdown here in your coverage now. You need to do a good job of staying in your lanes and don't allow a big return here. Try to tack them down there around their own 30-yard line, and if they're going to score, they're going to have to go 70 yards to do it.
Esters. Charlie with a low line driving kick. It gets past Esters down to about the 3-yard line. He breaks a tackle or two, but he's finally, well, he's still driving, dragging 2 Devils with him, and he's finally tackled at the 25-yard line with 6.2 seconds left to go in the first half.
Boy, Tim Ham had a golden opportunity to tackle him down there about the 3 and just flat out ran right by him.
Main thing here is you want to make sure you don't give up the big play.
A little late. Itawamba was a little late getting the play in.
3 receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left.
Shotgun formation.
Shotgun formation. Dozier, oh, intercepted, I believe. Brandon Hawkins catches it at the 40-yard line with 0.7 seconds left to go in the half.
Well, Doug, I think number 22 for Itawamba, the receiver.
His back was turned.
Yeah, Jake Falls, this looked like to me the quarterback thought he was going to do an in, and he was running a fly, and just a miscommunication there.
All right, now you got time for one play here, basically, with 0.7 seconds left.
I think if you want to really try to score,
hang up a deep one.
You go maximum protection and then just try to hang it up to Solomon, and if it's intercepted, just be sure and tell your lineman and everybody else to get down the field and cover.
.7 seconds left to go in the half. 7-3 in favor of the Blue Devils. And the Blue Devils
looks like we're going to kneel.
Probably just going to take a snap. Coach Drury deciding that, there's a penalty marker.
I think that's illegal substitution, if I'm not mistaken. Too many men on the field.
Back them up 5 yards, whatever the penalty is anyway. 1st and 15 from the 45. And Casey's just going to take the snap and take a knee, and Coach Drury and the staff just be happy with their 7-3 lead at halftime. And that's where it stands at the half. The Blue Devils 7, Itawamba 3. As your score 7-3 here at halftime, just about to get underway with the second half of play. As Lane said, the Indians will take the second half kickoff as the Blue Devils won the toss in the first half and received. So the Indians will get the ball to start the second half. But the Blue Devil defense, I thought, did a heck of a job in the first half, as really the only time that the Indians got close was on the fumble recovery when they scored the field goal. The rest of the time, the Blue Devil defense pretty much held them, let them get no closer than the 40-yard line. So if not for the fumble recovery, Itawamba very probably wouldn't have any points.
Yeah, we kind of gave them a short field to work with in that situation, and was talking with some of the folks here during the halftime break to be able to have a kicker that can kick that 44, 45-yarder. Such a huge weapon in high school football, because they're few and far between. And so I think it's going to be imperative that Water Valley try to win the field position battle. Hopefully we got in at halftime and made some adjustments to what they're doing on offense, or what their defense is doing, and we can get a little momentum going here on offense.
Number 3, Russell Edwards back deep to receive for the Indians.
Charlie Edwards set to kick it off for the Blue Devils. Esther's deep to receive for the Indians. Lord knows what was that. And the Blue Devils recover, but did it go 10 yards?
It don't matter, Doug, because an Itawamba player touched it.
That is so.
He didn't mean to do it.
Did he miss the kick?
Huh?
Did he miss the ball?
Darn near it.
Because they were 1st and 10 from the 47.
1st and 10 from the 47 for the Blue Devils.
Well, Doug, you mentioned in the opening the kicking off job was just pretty much open. When we lost Ward Walker to graduation, and they just really had a hard time of finding somebody to fill that void, and it's really kind of hard to do it during your practice sessions, because you have to devote the bulk of your time to your offense and defense and getting those mastered.
Here's a big opportunity for the Blue Devils. Pitch out to Pierre Allen. Allen hits the seam, and he's inside the 45 to the 42. First down, Blue Devils. Pierre Allen, just a sophomore. spent much of his freshman season injured. He twisted an ankle early in the season and just really never was able to recover from it.
And to be honest with you, a sprained ankle, a severe sprain like he had, Doug, it takes a long time for it to get back to 100%.
Rogers, first man through. Corey Williamson stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Second down and 9 now from the 41 of the Indians.
Second down, second and 10 from the 41.
Once again, I think Water Valley is trying to establish the running game, but if Itawamba continues to walk those guys up, they're going to have to loosen it up somehow.
Straight ahead, Corey Williamson inside the 40 down to about the 39.
From the 3rd and 8 from the 39.
Tell you, you'd kind of like to see Water Valley kind of hurry up with their play calling. This play's coming in late.
Third down now, third down and 8. Rogers back to pass, rolls to his right. Pass complete to number 48, Corey Williamson. Williamson down the sideline, still on his feet. Finally tackled down at about the 13-yard line for a Blue Devil first down.
Boy, that was a nice play-action pass right there, Doug. The Itawamba defense bit the fake. Corey was wide open in the flat. Good throw by Casey and good run after the catch.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils now from the 13-yard line. As the Blue Devils are going to line up in a double tight end set here. Edwards and Tim Ham at your tight end positions.
Unbalanced to the right, Doug.
Right, yep. Pierre Allen looking to pick his way through, still on his feet. Pierre Allen stopped at about the 4-yard line. He looked like he was lunging a little bit further than that.
He almost broke loose.
Stopped at the 5. That's going to bring up second and short.
Yeah, the Blue Devils went unbalanced right in that particular instance right there, Doug.
And they go that way once again. Straight ahead to Corey Williamson. Little or no room there. Gained maybe a yard down to about the 3.
Itawamba is just stuffing that middle. I think that if you're going to run the ball, you're going to have to try to get around those tackles.
Third and 1 from the 4.
Third and 1 from the 4. Strong side right again. Allen Williamson in the backfield. Rogers gives it to Allen, and Allen scores! Touchdown, Pierre Allen!
Well, Doug, they went against that unbalanced line. They ran back to the weak side, and evidently, I couldn't really tell, but evidently, when Water Valley goes unbalanced, Itawamba's defense shifts to the unbalanced side, or to the strong side, as we call it, and Water Valley was able to run an off-tackle play back behind that shift, and that's what allowed that touchdown.
Drake Dickey on now for the extra point attempt out of the hold of Casey Rogers. High snap, Casey gets it down, and once again, Dickey delivers. 7:56 to go in the third quarter of play. 14-3 your score in favor of the Devils, and we'll be back with the kickoff right after this. (14-3) as Pierre Allen scores from 4 yards out. and Drake Dickey connects on the extra point attempt, and the score is 14-3. Charlie Edwards one more time will try to kick off this time. Hopefully this time we'll get a little better effort out of the kick. We like the results that we got from recovering the kick, but and Charlie gets a foot into it that time, drives it down to about the 15, where it's picked up there by number 11, Nick Brown. Brown still on his feet and finally tackled over at about the 29-yard line, where the Indians will take over, trailing 14-3.
That's a pretty good job there by the coverage team there. They tried to get around the corner. Pretty good job of contain. Had one missed tackle. And that's one thing you'd kind of like to, you really don't like to see on your kickoff coverage team, because you just never know that one missed tackle could be that one crucial missed tackle. But for the most part, a pretty good job. Penalty flag down.
Flags everywhere. Penalty marker in the backfield of the Indians. Illegal procedure against the Indians.
One position change we want to make here, Doug. Number 14, I believe that's Brandon Hawkins. He is in at the safety position. Giving Casey a little bit of a blow. You really want to try to keep Casey fresh for that fourth quarter if it's all possible. And you're up by 2 scores here, and you've got that opportunity to do that.
After the penalty is assessed against the Indians, ball goes back to the 24-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 15 for the Indians. 2 receivers to the right. I formation in the backfield. Dozier fakes it to Esters. Got a receiver open downfield, and he hits number 1. Oh, my goodness, he was wide open, and he dropped it. Intended there for Brian Dozier. The brother-to-brother connection, and little brother just couldn't hang on.
Well, one thing, Doug, is the safety. Brandon, that's his responsibility. And both he and Solomon stopped to cover the curl route. And what happens was they sent another receiver behind that curl route on the fly, and it got behind the safety. But the reason for that is that Brandon came up to play the first pass receiver, the curl.
2nd and 15 now from the 29. Dozier complete out to number 29, and that's Harden. He's tackled over at about the 30. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 7.
And you notice real quickly after that particular play, Casey and Charlie are back in as the deep backs. But that's okay. I mean, you got away with it, and he was able to give Casey a breather for about 3 plays, and that could be big late in the game.
Dozier back to pass under pressure, has his receiver open, and Solomon wraps him up at about the 45-yard line, but that's going to be enough for a 1st down. That was number 22 there, Jake Falls.
Well, now you're starting to see Itawamba put the ball in the air a little bit, and with a couple of pass plays like that could loosen up the Devil defense for them to get the running game back going again.
1st and 10 now for the Indians from their own 45-yard line. Dozier fakes it, keeps it on the option. Casey wraps Dozier up and almost stripped the ball away from him. Takes it down to the Blue Devil 41-yard line.
Well, Doug, they just kind of faked that counter play to the left side, and the quarterback kept it back around the right, and we just kind of lost the ball a little bit.
First and 10 now from the Blue Devil 41-yard line. 6:32 to go in the third period of play. 14-3 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. They give it to the first man through. That's Harden. And Harden has nowhere to go as the Devil defense closed on him at the line of scrimmage. Lee Mix and Mac Jetson on the tackle.
I just really believe it at least it's evident here early in the second half. Itawamba's going to find it real hard to run inside the tackles like that just because of the bulk of the Devil front line.
You have two pretty large defensive tackles there in Travis White and Matthew Stevens. Pitch it back to Esters. Esters bounces off one and bounces off two, bounces off three. And Casey Rogers finally manages to roll him out of bounds over there at about the, let's see where they're going to mark it, at about the 28-yard line. More like closer to the 27. And that's another Indian first down.
Just had a couple of missed tackles. They had him for a minimum gain, and to the credit of Itawamba's running back Esters, that's just a great run. He got a lot of that on his own and just did a real good job of breaking tackles.
First and 10 from the 27 for the Indians. Dozier back to pass. Looking for number one out there, and he makes the reception, but is tackled at about the 21-yard line. That's Brian Dozier.
Tell you one thing I'm seeing here now from Itawamba's offense, they're starting to spread the Blue Devil defense out. They're just trying to start to hit the quick passes, and like we said earlier, Doug, if you can do that, it's going to loosen your running game up a little bit.
Second down now, 2nd and 5 from the 21. Harden on the carry down to about the 12-yard line. Close to another first down for the Indians. And it is another Indian first down. .445 left to go in the third period. 14-3 is your score in favor of the Blue Devils. Itawamba's lone score coming on a 44-yard field goal by quarterback, punter, place kicker, Clay Dozier. Straight ahead to Harden, and there was some penetration there at the line as Lee Mix came through the hole and stopped Harden before he could get started.
It just looked like there was some confusion all around. Water Valley's defense was late when they moved that tight end over to the other side. They were late adjusting to it. And I think in doing that, the Itawamba offense got a little confused. That's a good job there by the defensive tackle there for Water Valley. He kind of stuffed that play and allowed pursuit to catch up to him.
Second down now, 2nd and 9. Dozier pitches it to Esters. Esters cuts inside the block. Esters still on his feet, but he stops short of the goal line. Tackled at about the 1.
Just missing some tackles in there, Doug. Good hard running there by Estes.
First, that's going to be a 1st and goal as they pick up the first down. 1st and goal from inside, from about the 1-yard line. Tough situation here for the Blue Devil defense. Dozier on the option keeper. Don't see, yeah, there's the signal. Dozier was hit initially, but managed to bounce off and lunge forward for an Itawamba touchdown. Touchdown, Clint Dozier. Dozier will attempt the extra point now out of the hold of number 22 for the Indians, Jake Falls. High snap, Falls gets it down. Then the kick is good, and that makes the score the Water Valley Blue Devils 14, the Itawamba Indians 10, and we'll be back with kickoff right after this. As Dozier set to kick off here now for the Indians.
Doug, it's just important now. Water Valley needs to kind of answer that drive.
Preferably with a long, grinding, drawn-out, clock-chewing drive. Charlie Edwards with the ball. Edwards looking for a little running room. Takes it back up the middle to about the 25, make it the 26-yard line, where the Blue Devils will take over 1st and 10.
Got a heat timeout here, I believe.
Official timeout on the field for the water break, and we'll take a break and be right back after this. First and 10 for the Blue Devils from their own 26-yard line. Casey Rogers at the helm at quarterback. Williamson and Allen in the backfield. The handoff is to Allen. Pierre steps through some holes, gains some nice yardage up to about the 38-yard line. Nice run there by Pierre.
He made a nice little cut in there to back to the inside that kind of loosened him up a little bit. And once again, Doug, Water Valley just needs to get about 2 or 3 or more of those first downs, get some field position back, and then they can go back to work. I still believe they need to kind of throw the ball to kind of keep that Itawamba defense loosened up a little bit.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils now from their own 38-yard line. Rogers gives to Allen again. Allen met in the backfield, and Pierre is able to lunge forward. Gains a couple of yards out of what could have been nothing up to about the 40. Call it 2nd and about 8.
Couple of scores, Doug. Oxford leading 14-7 over New Albany now. South Panola and Moss Point still 14-0 South Panola there. Vardaman 20-13 over Bruce. Bruce is closing that margin a little bit, and Winona still over Calhoun City 8-6.
Pierre Allen on the carry, and Pierre lunges forward up to about the 44-yard line. Gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. They mark it at the 43. Call it 3rd down now. 3rd down and about 7. Long 6, short 7.
This could be a big conversion play here, Doug.
Brandon Hawkins out wide to the right. Double tight end set. Handed off to Allen. Allen trying to go around the right end, and he is swarmed under by the Indian defense for no gain on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 5 situation. It looks like the Devils will choose to go the punt route.
Brings up 4th and 5 from the 43 for Blue Devils. Number 2 is Charlie Edwards back in punt formation for the Blue Devils. Number 7, Clay Dozier back in the 2 for the Indians.
And the punt goes all the way down to the Itawamba 29-yard line, where it's down there by the Blue Devils. Indians will take over 1st and 10 from their own 28.
Well, we'll see if the Blue Devil defense can make an adjustment from the last drive Itawamba's offense had. They were able to get down that field pretty quick, so hopefully the Devil defense can kind of adjust to it and get a stop here.
Dozier to the first man through, and there's nowhere to go in there on the inside. Loss of about 2 on the play, it looks like. 2nd and 12. Coming up on the end of the 3rd quarter of play here. Time will probably run out here in the 3rd quarter before they can get this play off. And it does. That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play with your score 14-10 in favor of the Blue Devils. Beginning of the 4th quarter of play here, 14-10 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. Indians with the ball, 2nd and 12 from their own 27-yard line. Dozier back to pass, has a receiver open, and Reggie Morgan is right there on him, and he doesn't even gain a yard. Matter of fact, I think he loses. He only gains 1 yard back, I think. Gained 1 of the 2 yards that they lost on the previous play back.
Yeah, it's a good job recognition there by the Blue Devils secondary. Big play right here for the Devil defense. Need to get a stop here, force a punting situation.
3rd down and 11 from the 28-yard line.
Looks like they're going to shotgun formation.
Dozier takes the snap. Under pressure. Tipped ball, almost intercepted.
They tried to set up the middle screen there, Doug, but just never really got going there. And it's good penetration there by the Blue Devil defensive line, but there was a lot of congestion there in the middle where they was trying to run that screen.
Oh, and that's not good. Casey Rogers comes up limping as he comes off the field. 4th and 11.
And Itawamba having personnel problems on their punt teams, they're forced to call a timeout.
Timeout, and we'll take a break and be right back. The Indians facing a 4th and 11 here, punt situation. We saw Casey Rogers come limping off the side a while ago. I think the main thing was possibly maybe a little dehydrated, starting to cramp a little bit. I see him, I think maybe giving him some salt tablets and some fluids on the sideline. Dozier's punt down at the 41-yard line of the Blue Devils. Nice field position to start off with for the Devils.
Yeah, it wasn't a really good solid effort as far as a punt goes, and Water Valley did a real good job. When you get a bad punt like that, you just want to get away and get the football. But you're right, Doug. Great field position here. Water Valley with an opportunity now. Hopefully we can put a drive together and take some time off the clock and hopefully come away with some kind of points of some kind.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils from their own 41-yard line. Rogers rolls to his left, looking for Corey Williamson again. Nice cut there by Corey as he goes down the field to about the 45 of the Indians. First and 10 Blue Devils on the rolling option pass there.
You kind of like the way that play had set up. Casey had 2 options. He had the corner. I mean, he had pressure, but it was coming from the inside, and he had the corner if he wanted it. So he had the option to throw, and Corey was wide open. That's twice tonight they've ran that play, and Corey was wide open. And Casey made the right decision there. Good gain. Gets over in the Itawamba territory now.
First and 10 Blue Devils from the Itawamba 44-yard line, excuse me. Brandon Hawkins split out wide to the right. Double tight end set. Rogers this time rolls to the right, and a defensive pressure tackles him for a loss back to the Blue Devil 48.
Looks like Itawamba may have got away with a face mask.
Second and 20 now.
Boy, you hate to see that, Doug, especially after coming off of a good first play of the drive.
James Johnson in the ball game. And
once again, Water Valley is having trouble getting lined up right. Just
Charlie,
a lot of confusion going on here.
Forced to call a timeout, and we'll take a break and be right back. .9:47 left to go in the football game. 14-10 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. Blue Devils with the ball, second down and 20 from their own 47-yard line after Casey gets dropped for a loss on a sack. Blue Devils now trying to gain some back here from the loss.
Second and 20 from the 47 for the Blue Devils.
Rogers under, oh, good Lord, they ran a stunt. And Bean, number 31, was on Casey before he had time to even take 3 steps. Drops them all the way back to the 40-yard line where it'll be third down now and about
an eternity. Now you're just trying to get yourself in some field position where you can just punt the ball.
Third and about 28. Offside. Number 50 is a little antsy, and he leaned his head over, and they're going to call him for it. Offside against the Indians. That'll get us 5 yards closer. Make it third and 23 now. Rogers runs into his own man, but manages to make the Rocket makes the reception at about the well, you're going to mark him out of bounds at about midfield, which will bring up 4th and about 16. Make it 17. As you say, Lane, that gives them a little bit better position to kick from. Now you can tend to maybe pin the Indians down at least inside the 30, if not the 20 with a good kick. Charlie Edwards back in punt formation. Tim Ham, your long snapper. Edwards gets a nice kickoff. Caught at about the 16-yard line, and he's tackled at about the 20. They mark it at the just outside the 20-yard line. That's where the Indians will take over with 7:49 left in the contest. Field goal does them no good. They must score a touchdown.
There's still plenty of time to go in the game, Doug, and I'm sure Coach Drury and the staff have to be concerned about the confusion that they're having on offense and the breakdowns that they're having as far as picking up the blitzes.
Dozier pitches back to Esters. Esters wrapped up at about the 23 and brought down. Gain of about 2.5. Dozier back to pass. Intercepted by Casey Rogers. Casey still on his feet, trying to break it back to the outside. He's got it. Bye-bye. Touchdown, Casey Rogers on the interception.
Well, Doug, when your offense is struggling scoring points, one way to get to stay on top of the game is your defense to score points, and that's what happened right there. I'm going to tell you, the Itawamba's quarterback, Dozier, he didn't really, he kind of tipped that ball. He tipped it off where that ball was going. Now, he was looking at his receiver all the way. Casey did a great job of reading the quarterback. You're going to throw over the middle, you got to kind of have to try to look those defensive backs off a little bit. He kind of gave that pass away a little bit.
And Dickey delivers again. 21-10 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. We'll be back right after this for kickoff. (21-10) is your score in favor of the Blue Devils as the defense gets a score on about a 40-something yard. Rogers.
All right, Doug, let's kind of set the situation up now. It's 6:57 to go in the game. It's 21-10 in favor of Water Valley. So Itawamba's down 2 touchdowns. They've got to have 2 scores, 2 touchdowns. Field goals, like you said, don't do them any good. So what they're going to have to do now is maybe open up a little bit. If I was Water Valley and on the defense, I'd be looking for a little bit more passing out of Itawamba than you've seen so far, because they're kind of in a position now where they got to have a little bit of urgency. Don't need any breakdowns in your coverage here.
Wobbly kick, and
well, I saw what happened on that particular kick. Charlie's plant foot slipped as he prepared to kick the ball, and he planted his foot. His plant foot slipped.
Indians take over 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line with 6:55 left to go in the contest, trailing by 11 points, 21-10.
Pass was over the middle to number 22, Falls. He made one attempt to catch the ball. Once he saw he wasn't going to catch it, he quit worrying about the football.
2nd down and 10 now after the incompletion.
Now, if you're Water Valley on the defensive front, you can be a little bit aggressive. You can kind of pin your ears back a little bit and maybe try to get after that quarterback.
Dozier back to pass, under pressure. Lofts one up, and it's just out of the reach of Brian Dozier.
Good pressure, though, on the quarterback. Just he released that ball. He took a pop. Perfectly legal hit. Wasn't nothing late about it. And that's good. Every time he throws the ball, or at least you want to try to at least hit him.
Because after 3 or 4 quarters, those hammer shots.
Yeah, they mount up. Solomon got turned around there a little bit. Good throw. It would have been a completion.
3rd down and 10 now after 2 incompletions.
And plus, too, Doug, after you hit him a couple of times, when he drops back the pass, in the back of his mind, he's got to be wondering, is he going to get hit this next time?
You hear footsteps. Pass is incomplete again. Intended over there, I think, for number 3, Russell Esters. And that brings up 4th and 10, and Dozier drops back in punt formation. I'm thinking that's what Coach Drury is instructing him to watch for. He's pulling everybody up the line.
Yeah, well, he's putting Casey back, moving Charlie up just to be looking for the fake.
Nice high booming kick. Casey catches it at about the 23, misses a tackle, takes it up to about the 30. For the Blue Devils will take over 1st and 10. Got
a flag on the play, Doug.
Uh-oh. Illegal procedure against the Indians.
If I was Coach Drew here, I might decline this penalty. I think I want the football. If you take the penalty, that means they get to back it up and punt it again, and you risk the possibility of fumbling the next one. So I think I'd decline and take the football, get the clock rolling.
I believe that it's going to be the situation, and that is how it's going to be. The penalty is declined. Blue Devils will take the football, 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line with 6:26 to go and a 21-10 lead.
And now, as far as if you're Water Valley on offense, you just want to get the clock moving now. You don't necessarily you're the team that's not in an urgent situation. You just want to try to run some clock here, even if you don't score. Just get the clock moving.
Rogers hands it off to Pierre Allen. Allen takes it up to about the 34-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play. 2nd and 6.
Second down, 2nd and 6 from the 34 for the Blue Devils.
That was one of the concerns coming into the year that the coaches had talked about, Lane, was that somebody step up at the tailback position to where they would not be forced to run Casey at a tailback position more than they wanted to. And so far tonight, Pierre Allen, I think, has done an excellent job. Casey switches the play. Hands it off to Allen. Allen over the left side, looking for running room. Breaks a couple of tackles. Knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line. And that's going to be a Blue Devil 1st down.
One thing I think Pierre is going to, and there again, Doug, he is young. He's just a sophomore. He kind of needs to get out of that habit because he's busting it up in there, and he wants to immediately break to the outside. That necessarily is not a good play. I think we got a heat timeout here.
Water break called, and we'll take a break and be right back. .5:25 to go in the game. 21-10 your score. Blue Devils with the football. 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line. Solo Rocket out wide to the left. Double tight end set. Williamson and Allen in the backfield. Allen over the left side, up across the 45 to the 46. Going to make it 2nd and about 6. Make it 2nd and 7.
Take your time coming up to the line, but don't get the delay a game penalty, but try to run as much time off the clock without getting a penalty before you run the play.
Strong side right. Straight ahead to Corey Williamson. And forward progress is going to take him up to about the 48-yard line. Which will bring up a 3rd and 5. Under 4 minutes to go.
3rd and 5 from the 48.
Pierre Allen trying to get to the outside, and
Going to be a little short. Going to be about 2 yards short here, I believe. Boy, he almost had the corner. He almost had a big play.
Marks it at the Indian 48-yard line. 4th down and about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, I don't think you punt it here. I think you go for it because if you punt it, you risk a possibility of a punt being blocked. You didn't need that, that's for sure. That's going to be a delay of game. You certainly didn't want that.
Delay a game against the Blue Devils.
That's huge, Doug, because you go from 4th and 1 now to about 4th and 6. So now you're really forced to punt the ball and try to punt it deep. If I'm Itawamba, I'm probably coming after the punt here.
2:50 left in the contest. 21-10 your score.
Yeah, I believe they're coming.
One man back. Charlie gets it off.
That's all you wanted him to do.
And it's a fair catch at about the
Wasn't much of a
21.
fair catch.
Fair caught at the 21, and that's where the Indians will take over with 2:44 left, and they're forced to score 2 touchdowns in order to win.
Now, if you're Water Valley on defense, Doug, you just want to keep the ball and the receivers in front of you. Don't give up the quick strike. Don't give up the long bomb.
Well, actually, I am incorrect. If they score and get the 2-point conversion, then a field goal would tie.
Right.
Dozier back to pass. Thrown up. Overthrown, intended there for number 22. Falls. That ball would have had to have been just pretty much perfect because Solomon had pretty good coverage on him.
Yeah, I think he turned. He made his turn to run with the receiver a little too late, and I think that's what Coach Thompson is telling him, that once he gets within your cushion, turn and run with him.
2nd and 10 now for the Indians. Dozier pitches to Esters. Esters looking for running room. Rocket slows him up, and they finally force him out of bounds.
Well, you really didn't want him to go out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock. Solomon did a good job, though, of keeping contained on him.
Out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
First and 10 from the 37.
First and 10 Indians. Dozier back to pass, looking downfield. Who got Falls? Looking what he was doing, and Reggie Morgan dropped a sure interception. Falls never even turned around to look for the ball.
Doug, I think you're starting to see now where the pressure on the quarterback during the course of the game is kind of starting to take its toll, if you will. He's throwing the ball quicker than he wants to, so the timing's a little bit off. He's not getting good, confident throws on his passes.
2nd down now, 2nd and 10 from the 37. 2 receivers out wide to the right. I formation in the backfield. Dozier. Looking for Dozier. He's got him open, and it's complete. Oh, no, and he can't hold on. Nice catch, but Dozier couldn't hold on after he hit the ground.
Well, it was a major, major breakdown in coverage right there.
And you've got an injury for the Indians. One of the big offensive linemen down, and he's holding a knee.
Doug, I don't know if Bobby can get a shot, but right here on our sideline, right here in front of us, you see Coach Thompson. And this is one of the things that I think that's going to benefit the Blue Devils as far as their secondary is concerned, because there was concerns regarding the secondary. And Coach Thompson, all he's going to do really is focus his attention on coaching the defensive backs. And you see him out there doing it now because he knows somebody broke down in their coverage, because there's no way, especially playing with a safety, that a receiver can get that deep down the middle wide open like that. If anything, that's where your safety should be, sitting in the middle of the field.
Oh, well, he's beginning to rise up to a sitting position. We'll see.
Looks to be either an ankle or a knee, because when I looked out there, the best I could tell, it looked like he was holding his knee.
He was holding his right knee, and with assistance, he's able to put some weight on it as they help him off the field. That's number 63, Will Neighbors. 3rd and 10 now from the 37 for the Indians. Dozier back to pass. Under pressure again. Almost picked off again. Reggie Morgan just missed another one.
I think if you're Itawamba, if you want to have a crack at winning the game, I think you're forced to go for this here. Play's coming in a little bit late.
4th down and 10. 2:11 left in the game. 21-10 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. Itawamba with the ball on a 4th and 10.
Yeah, I knew it was getting close, Doug. That's going to be delay of game. I knew with that play coming in late like it was, they were going to have problems getting it off.
Delay a game against the Indians. That'll make it, what is a 4th and 10 will be a 4th and 15.
You know, I think you're starting to see some fatigue set in on both teams, Doug. They're late getting the plays in, and their mental focus doesn't seem to be as sharp.
Dozier back to pass. They pick up the pressure. Almost intercepted again. That's 3 times Reggie Morgan has had a shot at an interception.
Well, I know especially Coach Steve Thompson has to be really pleased overall with the play of the secondary. They've been in position to make plays. When the passes have been completed, they've been there for the tackle. There's been 1 or 2 breakdowns in the coverage, a time or two, but you know, you're going to learn from those mistakes. And I think overall, Coach Thompson and the whole coaching staff of Water Valley really has to be pleased with the secondary play tonight.
2:05 left to go in the contest. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils from the Indian 33. Devils go unbalanced right again, and they run back to the left with Pierre Allen looking for the corner.
Good gain. That's a good 5-6 yard gain there. Now Itawamba, I believe, is going to be forced into burning their timeouts here. I think that leaves them with just 1 timeout left.
.151 left to go in the contest. 21-10 in favor of the Blue Devils. 2nd down now and 4 for the Devils from the 26-yard line. Once again, unbalanced line to the right. Pierre Allen looking for running room off the left side. Going to be down close to 1st down yardage.
They're going to give it to him, Doug. It's 1st down.
They're marking it at about the 21, I believe. Leaves where it's looking about close to be where the spot is. About the 21-yard line. Make it to 20, closer actually to the 22, I think. 1st and 10.
Coach Drury, he's telling Casey when to snap the ball.
watch the clock, and at the last possible instant, snap it. First and 10. Allen at the tailback. Williamson is your fullback. Unbalanced right. Penalty marker on the play. Whatever, I didn't see
just
the
delay
call.
a game.
Delay a
Delay
game against the Blue Devils again.
And see, the thing about that, Doug, is when a penalty's called, then the clock don't start till a snap. So you're forced to make an extra snap.
1:16 left. First and 15. Straight ahead to Pierre Allen. Little or no gain on the play.
I think Itawamba's pretty much content. I think they pretty much accepted the fact that the game's pretty much over. Because they've got one timeout left, and we're under a minute to go, and they failed to use it.
Second and 12 now from the 24. Handed off to Allen. Allen takes it down close to the 21, gets back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, that was a good run there by Pierre. If you notice on that particular run, when he took the ball, he didn't bounce to the outside. He stayed square with the hole, and he kept moving forward.
Number 12, Antonio Johnson in the game.
Yeah, Water Valley, they don't even have to snap it.
Clock ticking down now, under 10 seconds to go here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and put it in the books. The Blue Devils win 21-10 over the Itawamba Indians.